Hello and welcome back for another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Snob. Today we are going to be reviewing another Irish whiskey, Greenore 18-year-old. Now, I do like Irish whiskey. It's not something that I go to. I know I have a friend in particular who his drink of choice is Jameson. Loves the stuff, can drink bottles of it, no questions asked. And it's not been since he's been hanging out with me that he's tried different stuff. But generally when I'm with him, and especially if we are hanging out, I just generally tend to drink what he's drinking. So it's easy enough. I mean, it goes down quite well, and it's a nice entry point whiskey. I know it's obviously drank quite liberally in Ireland, and also it's huge in America, not just because of the huge Irish population there, first and second generation, but also because it's a lighter, more easier whiskey to be able to handle than Scotch sometimes, because it's triple distilled, it's lighter, it's more floral. Triple distillation is something that the Irish do standard across the board with all of their whiskies, which does make it quite lighter and quite citrusy, and it's not as heavy. You don't generally get too much change in flavours like you do in Scotland. So Highlands and Speyside and Lowlands and Islay, the big differences there between the flavours of the peat and so on. So it's always a nice addition to throw something different into the mix. And I do like this Greenore 18 actually. I have been an advocate of this particular whiskey for a few years. Unfortunately, the Greenore distillery has now been closed down. They've moved the production of Greenore back to the parent distillery, which is Kilbeggan. A lot of you guys might be more familiar with the Greenore 8, which is a great whiskey. This Greenore 18 was a limited run. There was only 4,000 bottles made. To be honest, I've probably personally purchased about 20 bottles. So I've used them in tastings, I've used them at home. It's an easy drink, and it's nice to be able to put out, and people, especially women, like a lighter and more floral whiskey. And this one being a single grain, it is quite sweet. You do get that. The colour's quite lovely actually. Obviously 18 years sitting in a barrel. It does pick up some of the colour from the wood. But it's actually, I've not had any of this probably for about 6, maybe 7 months. So it's always nice to go back to your whiskies and have a little nose and a little taste. I might be a bit generous, I've not had breakfast yet, and I'm already a few whiskies down for these videos, so you have to forgive me if I start sort of mumbling or slurry. Big vanilla, but it's not the vanilla that really stands out. It's that citrus, like orange and lemon peel. There's some sweet corn in there as well. It is rather sweet, but there's a huge citrus base that's overpowering. You can smell it, like really, it's quite blatant. There's a little bit of orange blossom in there, but that zest, it is literally like the citrus zest. If you scrape the peel of an orange and it goes up your nose, it makes you squint a little bit. It's exactly like that. I actually prefer, this is one of my favourite Irish whiskies, not because it's single grain or because it's closed or because it's 18-year-old. It's nothing to do with that at all. it's because of, well, it does obviously all those characteristics add to it, but it's a heavyweight, so it's a 46%. I generally like to drink my whiskies around 46-47% alcohol. I just find they have a nice amount of body to them. When they're above, anything above 43, 44 is generally good for me. I mean, I know a lot of people prefer to have whiskies at 40, 41, 42%. I'm going to just go straight in and taste this now. Straight away, butterscotch toffee, creamy vanilla. Wow, big vanilla. And it's got a little bit of spice to it as well, a bit of red pepper. Just taking you nice and easy into the finish. I love the nose on this whiskey, it's absolutely sublime. Yeah, that spice is definitely there. Surprisingly, the finish is quite warm. It's quite lingering. That sweetness continues all the way through. That sweet toffee is still there. But it does get, the one thing is quite nice about this, it gets nice and oaky towards the end. So you get hints of wood to that American oak. And again, adding to that spice, that pepper, becoming more black pepper than red sort of pepper. Really good. Really enjoyable. I'm sure there's a few still on the market. It wasn't, I found them quite easily in Dubai. They had quite a lot of bottles. I don't think people understood what it or knew what it was. I'm sure you might be able to find some elsewhere, and they are relatively inexpensive. I think 50 quid, which is about $60 or $70 for a bottle of an 18-year-old single grain Irish whiskey, which there was only 4,000 bottles of made. Is a really good deal, and that's Dubai prices. So I'm sure in Europe and in the US you'll be able to find them far cheaper if you can. Fantastic whiskey. Go out and get yourself some. Thank you again for watching. If you've been watching a few of these videos, you've known that I've started plugging a new service that the Whisky Snob is launching. We are about to try our hand at doing interactive whiskey tastings with you guys at home. So I know a lot of you expressed interest and your appreciation in these videos. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to give some of you the chance to actually have a tasting session with me live. And if you can't do the live sessions, then you have the videos to do them at your own time. But what I do is I'll send you some whiskey, 4 or 5 sample bottles, with tasting sheets and glasses, and we can all jump online and do an interactive tasting session, and it also gives you the chance to taste what I'm tasting and drink what I'm drinking, yeah, and let's grow our knowledge and education of whiskey. Thank you again for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the videos if you haven't done so already. Like the videos if you can. Check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Whisky Snob. And I hope to see you soon. Cheers.